Hi everybody, Sean Bellis with Pain Relief Massage, and today I wanted to talk about self-care for carpal tunnel symptoms. So what are carpal tunnel symptoms? Generally it's a lot of numbness in the hands and the fingers. It usually starts off maybe the tip of the fingers and then gets in the rest of the fingers. Sometimes shaking your hand out like that kind of gets them to go away, but a lot of times it can just start off progressively with a lot more computer work. So a lot of times it starts off very light, and then as it progresses, it gets worse and worse, where your whole hand can feel numb. Generally, if it gets to a point where you can barely move your fingers, that's when you need to go to the doctor. That's when you need possible surgery to get rid of the carpal tunnel. Well, not get rid of it, but just to correct it so that you can actually move your fingers without a lot of numbness. Now, I would have to say carpal tunnel surgery is probably the most easily preventable surgery out there. It's one of the most easily preventable if it's caught in time and you just don't ignore it. Okay, so I wanted to give a quick tip video on how to take care of yourself with these symptoms. If you're having numbness in your hand, your fingers, you're doing a lot of computer work, and after maybe about a couple hours of computer work, your hands getting all numb. And a lot of times it's because the carpal tunnel is a little tunnel between all of your carpal bones right here that a lot of your nerves and your blood vessel supply that go into your hand goes through. So with the carpal tunnel, it's when you have your wrist resting on something, or you're in one position all day long, that tunnel gets compressed. And as that tunnel gets compressed, that's when you start getting symptoms that go up into the hand. A lot of times it's the forearm that gets really, really tight with carpal tunnel. A lot of people in my profession actually get carpal tunnel because they're compressing down on their hands and wrists quite a bit when they're giving all that pressure into somebody's body when their wrist is at this angle. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is one of the most beneficial things that we can always do when we're having any kind of issue in our body is stretch, especially when something is getting compressed upon, kind of like the carpal tunnel. So one of the easiest and one of the biggest stretches that we all know is stretching your forearm flexors like this. Now, for a lot of people that have carpal tunnel, a lot of times they can only get it maybe about that much, and before it gets really, really painful. So you want to take your fingers kind of like that and come back as much as you can. Don't force it, but get a nice stretch. And once you feel the stretch, just hold it for about anywhere from 10 to 20 seconds. Come back, go down, go up, do a little bit of movement, and then stretch that sucker again. Okay. One of the things that I do, I've had carpal tunnel symptoms in the past. So what I would have done is what we call muscle stripping. So I would place some lotion on my forearm flexors right here, take my knuckles right here, and then I would kind of put this on my forearm like on a desk or somewhere I can support my forearm, and then I would just come on down to the forearm or the wrist right here. Just like that, kind of stretch out all those forearm flexors. You could also do it the other way too. You can start at the wrist, come back up. You don't want to do a ton of pressure at the wrist because remember, the carpal tunnel is getting compressed, right? So you don't want to add too much more compression here. So you want to do it below the wrist, starting right here, come down, or when you're coming this way, go all the way up. Sometimes when I come all the way up though, I won't do a lot of pressure through here, but I'll just finish the stroke into my hand. Okay, and once I do that muscle stripping, okay, I would say go a little bit slower, and then whatever really sore, you might, as you're doing this, might even feel numbness or tingling, the same sensation you would get into your hand by doing this. You would want to hang out there. And when you hang out there and you're like, oh my God, that's that numbness that's going into my hand, that's when you stretch. You kind of pin it down with your knuckle, and then you stretch one way, another way, stretch. So we call pin and stretch. We kind of pin the muscle down and you're stretching it with your wrist, going back and forth, and then you finish out the rest of that movement going towards the hand, and then stretch it out again. Okay, you're going to want to make that a ritual or a daily routine if you're starting to feel carpal tunnel type symptoms. All right, so that's just a quick tip that what you can do. I know there's other exercises and stretches you can do for carpal tunnel. I just wanted to show a quick tip on some self-care for that. If you do want to check out different stretches and exercises, I do have them on my self-care page at my website, rockpainmassage.com, and rockpainmassage.com. So you might want to check that out. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. whether that's the YouTube or when I put it on Facebook. And or for my clients, you can always feel free to email me, text me, or call me because you have that information. So hopefully everybody is doing well, and you take care.